Well, guys, the WNBA have been talking about their most viral moments of the years. Obviously, number 5 most viral moment was I don't remember this happening. The number 6 most viral moment was I don't remember. Sorry, Jesus, I don't remember this happening.
He's a content creator who lives and breathes the WNBA. He scrolls through the league's official most viral moments list, and the first thing that escapes his lips is a stunned, almost disbelieving, wait, that actually happened? And then again, and again, over and over, as if the list itself is mocking him. Pause for a moment. Let that sink in. The WNBA has just unveiled its definitive viral moments of the year, yet the person whose life revolves around these games is left baffled. Half of these so-called iconic moments? They barely even existed. And that gap between the hype and the reality sets the stage for a story far bigger than any highlight reel.
Think what some of these are like. Number 9 was Candace Parker with Usher. Don't remember this happening. Number 10 was Stud Buds. To be fair, the Stud Buds at All-Star Weekend is absolutely belongs high. But I'm actually shocked that, first of all, this was higher. This was more important, but the WNBA actually posted.
The truth hits. Star Weekend? It absolutely deserves a spot near the top. No argument there. But this is where the WNBA's priorities crack wide open. They placed a Candace Parker and Usher photo op at number 9, a staged celebrity snapshot. That's what made the league's top 10. Meanwhile, the Mercury vs. Fever showdown, the game where Caitlin Clark, limping on a single injured leg, systematically tore apart Paige Bueckers, is barely hanging on at number 7. The matchup that finally settled last season's most heated debate in women's basketball. Number 7. Let that sit with you. A glossy celebrity photo outranks the defining moment of an entire season, a battle that fans had been waiting for with bated breath. That one ranking alone exposes exactly how the league measures what matters.
Like, Caitlin was on one leg and she was taking the piss. She stole the ball 4 times off Paige. She blocked JJ Quinterly, screamed in her face, grabbed the ball and just looked up and launched a full court pass inch perfect to Sophie Cunningham. She, in fairness, Paige Bueckers caught her in the air and she went down looking like she'd hurt herself on that one. Caitlin's stats wise, she had 13 assists in like 20 something minutes. She played 10 minutes less than Paige, so 13 assists. Paige Bueckers was the absolute, she was, as we call her at times last season, she was the garbage time demon. She was the demon of garbage time last year.
Focus on the sheer dominance. 13 assists in just 20 minutes. For steals, all ripped straight from Paige Bueckers' hands. A vicious block on Gucci Watkins, Caitlin screamed, snatched the ball, and hurled a full-court strike straight to Sophie Cunningham. And she did all of this limping on a single, battered leg. This wasn't just a victory. This was a declaration. A definitive, headline-grabbing statement that finally settled the debate once and for all. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers spent the majority of the game being methodically dismantled, play after play, unable to find an answer. By the time the clock slipped into garbage time and Paige finally scored, Caitlin had already left the stat sheet looking like a masterclass. More points, more rebounds, more assists, more steals, more blocks, and fewer mistakes. And here's the twist. The WNBA itself is trying to build Paige into the league's next superstar, the social media darling, the supposed torchbearer for the future. Yet they posted highlights from the very game where she was utterly dominated. The contradiction is almost too wild to believe.
What I would say was, anyone points to anything, you look at that game, you're like, even the fucking UConn game. Fun fact. This is not a fun fact because it's not a fact. I'm pretty sure UConn were 3-0 against Iowa and Caitlin Clark until that game. I'm pretty sure. Paige Bueckers is 0-4. I'm pretty sure Iowa beat UConn once when they were in college together. And one of them, Paige, didn't even play. It was an easy foot.
Story between UConn and Iowa adds a whole new dimension. UConn had run the table 3-0 against Iowa and Caitlin Clark all the way until that final, fateful college showdown. Paige Bueckers? She was 0-4 against Caitlin. One of those losses? She didn't even step on the court. It was a masterclass from AZFUD, pure dominance on display. This wasn't luck. This wasn't a one-off. This was a relentless, repeating pattern, one that carried straight into the professional ranks. And yet, the WNBA continues to manufacture a rivalry, painting Paige and Caitlin as equals, As if the record books don't already tell a much different story. Then there's Angel Rhee, and her story cuts a different way. Here is a rookie who literally carried the Chicago sky on her back, forcing victories out of sheer willpower. The Vegas game, 2 putbacks in the final seconds, sealing a win that felt impossible. The New York Liberty matchup, she willed them to triumph when everything else was crumbling. Angel didn't just make games competitive, she earned the win over and over as a rookie. Paige? She came close. Almost pushed her team into contention. Almost. There's a world of difference between nearly winning and actually delivering under pressure. Angel crossed that line multiple times. Paige has yet to.
What? If you were talking about this game, I just remember like, how the game was summarized in one photo. Yeah. How the game summarized in one photo. That was basically it. The rivalry the league wants. They have grown, bless their hearts. Aaliyah Boston, 80 foot. 4 steals and 13 assists on one leg. Like, she stripped Paige 4 times. And that was the funniest thing, is everyone's talking about turnovers. I'm like, oh, Paige had more turnovers than Caitlin in that game. Because Paige actually played point guard in that game. The game the Wings beat the Fever, if I'm not mistaken.
Was on cruise control, moving through the game like a predator who didn't even need to hunt for points. She was dismantling Paige defensively, threading passes to her teammates with surgical precision. And there was Paige, frozen in that moment, her face saying everything. She knew exactly what had just happened, and there was nothing she could do. Take the game against the Wings. Paige stepped in as point guard, supposedly taking charge, supposedly owning a playmaking role. But the numbers told a different story. She racked up more turnovers than Caitlin, the very player limping on one leg. Meanwhile, Caitlin dished out 13 assists and ripped the ball from Paige's hands 4 times, all without even trying to score. The Wings nearly blew a 70-point lead in the dying minutes, a chaotic, almost comical moment.